whenever you're ready.
Okay. Hi everyone, it's me and John again. Today we've taken ourselves to downtown Vancouver. It's about 45 minutes from where we currently live and it's a really beautiful sunny day here today. It's going to be 16, 17 degrees. So we're going to give you a bit of a tour of downtown Vancouver and we're going to go down by waterfront. So you'll see a bit of ocean as well. So I think we'll get started. Photographs are going to be a bit of a challenge because of the direct sunlight on everything, but we're going to give it a go and you can see how they turn out a bit later on the channel when John puts them on there for me.
And as it's a very bright sunny day, for those of you who are into street photography or architectural photography,
we'll be doing
plenty of light. So you don't need to crank that ISO up. Just keep it down at 100 and I'll pan behind us. So to give you an idea of how bright it is, you can see the reflections in the buildings that are behind us.
Yeah.
Now, just over here on West Georgia, you can see the way the blue sky is reflecting on these buildings behind us. And then on the other side, all the glazing of the buildings looks like mirrors. So enjoy your little trip through Vancouver. So I'm walking around, we found these art pieces of artwork and also these unusual sculptures. They look like they're made out of car parts and bits and pieces that they've discovered. I see some ski poles, some skis, here's another one. And they're made to look like insects. Now what I've done is, because of the light, I've gone and taken some pictures at different angles and then we can see how those, which angle works best with this harsh light. And as you can see, I'm doing this bit on my own because Hazel's seen something else that she wants to photograph and she's gone dashing off down the street. So let's go and make our way to where Hazel is and take some pictures of what Hazel's taking pictures of and then upset her because I'm taking pictures of what she likes to take pictures of. Right, see you in a bit. So here are the final images of those sculptures we were just looking at. I've increased the clarity and the contrast to try and make the reflections on the metal parts pop out. Hopefully I've done a good enough job. You like the image, the final image. And here's the other one, just for your pleasure. I struggled to get some kind of symmetry there because of the angle. Should have thought a little bit more about that before I took the shot. But let's move on. Gold building up there, I think is what Hazel was taking a picture of, unless it's this building on the corner with all the angled reflective shapes against it. I quite like the gold building because that building is reflecting the old marine building in Vancouver. Back at it, you can just see it there. We'll take a closer look at it when we get there. When it was originally built, I think it was the tallest building in Vancouver. It's got some interesting mosaic and ceramic tiles in the lobby, and we'll perhaps get inside and have a look at those for you. So we're heading down Burrard Street towards waterfront. Behind us you can see the mountains, a little bit of ocean. So it's a fantastic view on a nice bright sunny day when you're walking down Burrard towards the waterfront. Anything to add to that, Alice?
Well, what we thought was when we're out on our little jaunts around town and other surrounding areas, we thought we'd kind of add a bit of a travel, a little bit of info for you so anybody watching can get an idea of the areas that we're visiting. So we'll introduce a little kind of travel segment on each of our visits, so keep your ears out for that one. John says I have to say we've finally arrived down here by Canada Place and waterfront area.
Which is better than what she originally said, trust me.
Whatever. So what you can see behind us is Canada Place, some ocean, many people out and about today because it's a really lovely day. It's a really lovely city to visit, Vancouver, if you get the opportunity. There's plenty to see and do here. And obviously we get huge artists here for concerts, etc. So it's real popular.
photography?
Photography is very popular too here. There's some good things to photograph. We've got mountains, ocean, people if you like street photography, and some really interesting architectural, huge type commercial buildings which really are quite beautiful.
And we're going to go on to Canada Place to give those potential tourists of you a look at what you can see from out. It's like a pier that gets out.
Yeah.
There's no cruise liners, certainly not on this side of the pier at the moment. Sometimes there's 2 or 3 cruise liners that stop here.
Yeah, we do get those. There's one that goes to Alaska, and I discovered the other day there's one that does a world cruise that comes out from Vancouver. I did not know that.
And Los Angeles as well.
And Los Angeles, yeah. Los Angeles is only a couple of hour flight for us from here, so really easy to get to and access.
Okay, see you in a bit.
Bye bye.
So we're not quite at the end of the Canada Place yet. Behind us, the park you can see is Stanley Park, which when we first came to Canada 19 years ago was known as the largest city centre park in the world.
Yeah.
Very interesting. We'll do a tour around there one day.
Yeah.
You can probably hear behind us the float planes. One is about to take off. One's just left. They're there for 2 reasons. One is they do tours over Stanley Park, the city and the mountains. And the other tour, well not a tour, is they do trips to Victoria on Vancouver Island. And Victoria is the capital of British Columbia. So over to you, Hayes.
Oh, okay. So I don't have much to add to that really. That's true, they do trips to the island. As we said, there's a lot to do down here. It's a really nice place to live, or even just come for a few weeks visit. I just like looking at the blue ocean. I grew up by the ocean, I need it. So for people like me, it's really lovely here. John's your London boy, you can take or leave it.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
That's a bad thing.
So as I was saying just now, we have the float plane. This is a small one, might be doing the tour. The ones that fly across to Vancouver Island are a little bit bigger than this one.
It takes 30 minutes to get to the island.
Yeah, 30-minute flight to the island. They are a bit noisy. They've got to overcome the resistance of getting out of the water. So, but I've flown around the mountains and over the city centre. It's a very interesting view from several thousand feet up. Very, very interesting. So if you're coming to Vancouver, it's worth a shot at flying over and having a look from a different angle. And now, here comes one of our float planes. Looking at this one, I think this is one of the Vancouver Island planes. So it's probably just come back from Victoria. Harbour Air is the company. Plug there for them. Nice gentle, we've got a pretty good pilot there, nice gentle landing. Although the water is calm, but it mostly is. So on the left there we've got the convention centre. There's a lot happens there, not cheap though. Mortgage before you come. And just across Burrard Inlet, this stretch of water here is called Burrard Inlet, is Stanley Park. As I said earlier, this is Stanley Park I don't know if it still is, one of the biggest city centre parks in the world. Across and behind Stanley Park is Cypress Mountain. In the winter, good skiing there apparently. I don't ski, so I wouldn't know. I have to take people's word for it. Again, another ski mountain. This one is Grouse Mountain. We go up there usually when the weather's a little better. Some very good scenery up there, some good views across the water. And our last mountain over there is Seymour, which we've been hiking a few times. So we finally made it to the end of the Canada Place pier, and we were just looking at doing some pictures at this end. And as you can see, we're at the very end of the pier, and I'm gonna have to struggle to zoom in here. Hopefully you can see the bald eagle having his lunch right on top of that light. Hazel's taking some pictures, hopefully she's getting close enough. be able to see it.
Struck gold.
And that's the sea bus going out, and behind it is the container port.
Let's have some fun.
Although Vancouver is a beautiful city, it's also a functional city, and as we're by the ocean, we're like a first port coming across from Asia, so you do see a lot of ships in the bay. Looks like Hazel's been roped into doing tourist photos. Quite common. When the 2010 Winter Olympics was here, that was all we seemed to do, tourist photos. Just over in the background there's the harbour centre, where that round top is. There's a restaurant. You can see all around.
I'd live to fade.
Yeah.
Oh, then.
So after a hard day's photography and videography, and you're looking for somewhere to eat and drink, Vancouver's got you covered. Whether you want to pop in for a donut and a coffee, or whether you want to go to a boutique restaurant, there's plenty around.
Yeah.
Hazel and I have decided to go to Cactus Club Cafe. We haven't been in there for a while, so we thought we'd try out their menu.
Yeah.
So,
and John forgot to say we helped out some tourists just now down by the waterfront.
yeah.
They were from Texas and Boston. So
All right.
that was interesting.
So-
all right, see you after lunch.
Bye.
Bye.
And here are some of those images we took on that day of reflections on the buildings. We hope you enjoy, and if you're visiting Vancouver, you'll be able to see where we took these images from. Take care, speak soon, bye.